Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to attach the figure 8 fasteners to your table frame. And we are using 12 gauge figure 8 clips. I think we get these through quick screw, and we're using number 6 by 5/8 screws. So if this table was hardwood, I would be using a drill gun with a 3/32 bit for this size screw to pre-drill the holes. But because it is a softwood, I don't have to pre-drill it. One thing I do want to mention is if you're using hardwood, we like to take our 3/32 bit, and I know you're not supposed to do this, but run it as far back into your drill gun as possible and then tighten it down, because if you don't, the students have a tendency to push down and either lean one way or the other, and they end up busting off your bit. So this, we've discovered we go through less bits if we put it in this way. So when you go to attach your figure 8 fasteners to your table frame, the tendency is to grab an impact driver and just put them in real quick. But the problem with that is, because this is a softwood, if you use an impact driver, it's very easy to over tighten it and strip out your hole for your screw. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver. It doesn't take very long, and it's easier than having to re-drill your holes. Again, with the screwdriver, I'm going to make sure that I don't over tighten these. I'm going to tighten it just till it's firm, and then I'm going to leave it so that I don't strip them out that way either. Another thing I should point out is we used a different style of clamp here because my other plastic clamp broke on me. And because we used a metal bar style and didn't want to damage the wood on our legs, we put two scab pieces of wood in between here so that it's wood pressing against wood, and so the metal is pressing into these scrap pieces of wood here and not damaging my table frame. Okay, so we've finished gluing our table frame together. We've attached our figure 8 fasteners, and now we're ready to attach the top of our table to our table frame. So how we're going to do this and make sure that it is evenly placed on the top of the table is we're going to make sure that we flip it over to where we're looking at the bottom side of our tabletop. We're going to put our frame on our tabletop, and we're going to line up the edges of our legs with the edges of the tabletop. And then we're going to measure this distance, and it's 1 3/4 inches. So we're going to half that measurement, which will be 7/8, and then we're going to move our table frame and hook our tape measure on the edge of our tabletop and mark in 7/8, and then flip it around and mark in 7/8 this way. And we will do that on all 4 corners. So now that we've got our marks on the tabletop, we're going to put our frame back on, and we're going to put the center it on the tabletop and line up the marks with the edges of our legs all the way around. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to take our screws that we used earlier for the figure 8 fasteners. We're going to get our screwdriver, and we're going to very carefully, without bumping it, go ahead and put those screws in. Again, I'm not pre-drilling because this is a softwood and would strip out too easily.